Do you own a tracksuit and a pinky ring? Is your hand constantly stuck in this position? Are you always wondering, who has the gabagool? Well, look no further because I have the perfect coffee brewing device for you. The Moka Pot, invented in 1933 by Italian engineer Alfonso Bialetti. Bialetti's design was based on a prototype created by Luigi De Ponti. After Bialetti ripped off Luigi's design, that's when the big bucks started rolling in. Moka Pots are easily one of the most recognizable brewing devices in the world, due to how affordable they are in addition to the nostalgia associated with them. This is likely one of the first brewing methods that you may have seen your family use growing up, and one that you still might use today. The simplicity of their operation makes them approachable to brewers of all skill levels, and the cups they make are typically highly concentrated and full-bodied. So, how do they work? Well, to answer that question, let's simply make a cup of coffee with one. First, I'll measure out 16 grams of coffee and then use my handy spray bottle to make this situation a little wetter. Then I'll set my grinder to 600 micron, which is simply medium fine, leaning closer to fine. Next, and probably the most important part, I'm going to pre-boil some water before adding it to the Moka Pot's water chamber. Moka Pots are usually put on a stovetop, or in this case, a camping stove, which can be unpredictable and time-consuming. So, in situations where I'm using a Moka Pot or maybe even a siphon brewer, I preheat the water prior to it being introduced to the brewing vessel. Now, let me show you a good workflow for the Moka Pot. Separate the water chamber from the coffee chamber. Then set the funnel filter in the open coffee chamber. Next, we'll add coffee directly to the funnel filter. As we fill it up, I like to use a wise distribution tool to break up any clumps in the coffee. This is a trick taken from espresso puck prep, and just a measure we use to ensure that there's no channeling in the bed. Channeling results in uneven extraction, which means your coffee won't taste very good. However, keep in mind that while I am borrowing an idea from espresso, this is not an espresso machine, and it's not making espresso for that matter. Don't tamp the bit, because the Moka Pot cannot hit the same bars of pressure that espresso machines can in order to work through that compacted bed. In simple terms, if you try to tamp this, your shit's gonna be all fucked up. Now I'll put the water chamber on the scale and measure out 300 mils of water. Now we can set the funnel filter into the water chamber. Finally, what I want you to do is take the coffee chamber and flip it just like this. My biggest complaint about the Moka Pot is that it produces coffee that's just a little too gritty due to its inherent filtration method. So, what I like to do is this little trick. I'll grab an AeroPress filter. These are the Sybaris Fast AeroPress filter papers, but the regular ones will do just fine. And I like to pop one in right here on the bottom. So now we've got our filter set, our funnel filter back in the water chamber, and we can screw these together. Ow, fuck, ow, 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 fuck. Now, your water chamber will be very hot because you just poured boiling water in it. So, use an oven mitt or something when screwing these two pieces back together. But before we start brewing, do me a favor and like and subscribe to Coffee or Die. For every new subscriber we get, another Sicilian villager will give birth to a whole mess of freshly fried cannoli. We're gonna put this assembled Moka Pot on top of this burner. Now the first thing I'll do is actually open up this lid, and then I'll light my burner. Now the reason I left the lid open is because what I want to do is adjust the flame or maybe even move the entire Moka Pot depending on where we are in our brewing process. Liquid should start to gently roll out of the chimney and collect in the coffee chamber. If it starts sputtering and spraying, you need to ease up on that flame. Toward the end, you may also notice that liquid is once again sputtering and becoming clear, which is a sign that you should remove the mocha off the flame entirely. Finally, your entire Moka Pot assembly is incredibly hot, so we aren't trying to cook our brewed coffee on these scalding metal surfaces. So, as quickly as possible, transfer that liquid into your drinking vessel. The final result is a heavier, stronger, thicker, and more concentrated cup of coffee that isn't espresso, but has similar characteristics. In the comments below, tell me your favorite memory of you using this device, and how my complicated use of it just ruined those memories. For now, I'll say thank you so much for stopping by, and I will catch you on the next episode of Coffee or Die. F***ing focus on me, you bitch. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, I fucking this. Why the would this focus on the roaster? I didn't realize the roaster had been talking this whole time, dude. Okay, sick.